Look out, y'all. Ashy Knuckles, YTVC, you know what I'm saying, representing the dirty. I'm, that Lone Star, Houston. And I'm making this video in response to 2 videos, actually, and probably a bunch more that I haven't even come across. Divine Sense, his post-fight of Adrian Broner, Maidana, and of course Zone 6, he just did a video talking about YouTubers in the African American community that are racist on the cool. You know what I'm saying? Not really being blunt with it, but just you can tell how they break down fights. There is an obvious aura of bias, or just being racist on the cool. He was right. I'm sure there is a bunch of that out there. But in both of those videos, there's a couple of topics that I want to address in particular, because there are no names being mentioned, and that is raising the issue of Alex Ariza's possible influence in the outcome of Chino versus Adrian Broner. Because I made a video raising that issue myself. I'm included in that, and since there are no names being brought up, I'm gonna make sure I put one out as it pertains to me. I'm not running from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not running from no debate at no time against anybody in the boxing community. I guarantee you that. Like, I don't know for sure if it was addressed to me, but since I am included in it, I'm gonna make sure I put it out there. And here it is. When Chino beat the brakes off of Adrian Broner, immediately I put a video up that night praising Chino on his dominating performance of Adrian Broner. Never once gave Adrian, you got guys giving Adrian Broner credit because, he didn't wilt or fold or anything like that, and that's cool. But that's not going to come before I'm going to give praise to Chino for what he did, because Adrian Broner did not come to lose. He went to training camp to go and whoop that ass, and he got his ass whooped in the process. So the first video that I made was giving Chino props. The very next day, I saw the video of what looks like Alex Ariza, a guy who was known to be dominating headlines in boxing, of foul play. He never been caught doing anything in boxing, but his name is always in headlines of some shady business. Even the guy who he got most of his work from, Freddie Roach, don't even like him. Freddie Roach has also said on the side that strength coaches are who brought drugs into boxing. YouTube it. Do your research. Check it out. Okay? Now, in recent history in boxing, guys have been caught cheating. Whether it was being caught with dirty UAs, where being caught with not passing Nevada testing, which is voluntary anti-doping agency, which basically don't have no jurisdiction over anything. It's voluntary. You have to pay for it in order to be a part of the fight. Nobody automatically does VADA. It's separate. They're not even a part of the commission. The commission don't even do drug testing as stringent as VADA or USADA, for that matter. But my thing is this. This is the steroid era as it pertains to boxing. If you think back, Oscar De La Hoya fought Fernando Vargas. And even though Fernando Vargas got his ass whooped, he was on steroids. It was proven. Oscar De La Hoya also fought Shane Mosley in the rematch. In that rematch, he lost. Shane Mosley never tested dirty to a steroid test, but he admitted that he was on it because he got caught up in that Balco scandal. But Shane Mosley did not test dirty, and he did take drug tests. Okay? But I can go back even further than that. But before I do, I'm going to talk about cheating, because that's what we're talking about. Antonio Margarito, right when he was about to fight Shane Mosley, his team was caught trying to put plaster of Paris in his hand wraps. Now, people always say let the commission handle it. they'll handle it. But the commissioner was back there too. They witnessed the hands being wrapped. They did not catch plaster of Paris being put in his hand wraps. Nazim Richardson did. Just like I said, Shane Mosley didn't test dirty to steroids, but he got caught in that Balco scandal. So y'all are putting a lot of faith in the powers that be to catch cheating in the process, and they're not doing it. It's your responsibility too if you really feel the way you say you feel about the sport of boxing. Alright, I'm going to keep it going. Let's go back before the Margarito thing. Let's go back to when Aaron the Hawk Pryor, one of the greats at 140, possibly the greatest ever at that weight, had his fight with Alexis Arguello. His trainer, Panama Lewis, a guy who is currently and has been for a while banned from the sport of boxing because of cheating. In that fight, he kept asking one of his other seconds that are in that corner to pass him the water bottle. And they would pass him a bottle that had nothing but water, which is what you're supposed to use. But he would say on camera, and you can hear him saying it, "Pass me the one I mixed." The one I mixed. Instantly creating doubt in people's minds that there was some foul play. Okay? That's another example. Was it caught before they got to the ring? I thought water bottles and everything is supposed to be tested. You know, everything's supposed to be inspected before you go to the corner. How do you get a bottle of the one you mixed in the corner of a professional prize fight and be able to say that to your cornerman and it be caught on camera? Y'all putting faith in the powers that be to catch cheating before it happens. It's not happening. Get a clue. It's not happening. You got same guy, Panama Lewis, trainer of Luis Resto. A whole different fight. Luis Resto was fighting against a hot white fighter coming up, white skill fighter who they thought had the goods, named Billy Collins. And in that fight with Luis Resto, Resto beat the brakes off of Billy Collins. And after the fight, it was found out that the inside of Luis Resto's gloves, a lot of the padding that's used to shield a fighter, to protect the fighter to the most possible, a lot of that padding was removed. And his gloves were basically, didn't have a whole lot of padding there. It was basically fist being pounded against Billy Collins' face for the duration of that fight. Who caught that from, who caught the guy using that glove, those gloves against Billy Collins? Was it the commission? No. You know who it was? Was it the trainer? No. Was it the camera? Was it the media? Was it the networks? Was it the ref? No. It was Billy Collins' own daddy. His daddy came up to the ring apron and grabbed Luis Resto's hand and felt his gloves. And he felt that padding was not there, and he raised hell about it, as he should. So when we talk about this fight with Chino against Broner and the possibility of foul play to be, as a possibility in that fight, everybody who raised an issue about it were in their goddamn right to raise the issue about it. In their goddamn right. Because never before has cheating been prevalent in the sport of boxing than it is now. And ain't no way in blue hell performance enhancing drugs or any type of drug, vitamin, or whatever, inhaler, adrenaline, epinephrine, whatever they use to put in these guys' nostrils to give them, to open up their veins and their arteries and open up their nostrils to be able to get more oxygen in so they can perform. Ain't no way that should be used in the sport of boxing when you got two combatants hitting each other in the goddamn head for, as a part of the sport. This ain't baseball. This ain't baseball. You should raise an issue. I don't give a damn what your attachment is to the fighter. Cheating should be caught. I don't give a damn if a guy who is a diehard Broner fan, if he mentioned the possibility of cheating and it has some type of validity to it, he should bring it up. I brought it up. I saw it. I pushed it. And I'm going to continue to do that because I'm not for no cheating. In boxing, there should be fair play because these guys sustain horrible injuries as a result of what they do for a living. Billy Collins was never the same after that fight with Louis Resto. Tragic ending. Tragic ending. So everybody who raised it up was in their right to do it. Now, before I did it, I immediately said, because I'm sure some of y'all watched the video, and the thing about it is people are watching these videos and they're not listening to the message. Because in my video, I said specifically that fighters don't know nothing about performance-enhancing drugs. They know they exist, but they don't know how to get them. They don't know how to cycle on and off of them. They don't know nothing about that shit. All they know is to train and fight. I said that in my video. I said it. I said this has nothing to do with Chino. That he beat Adrian Broner fair and square. And it was round 11 when it happened. Adrian Broner's ass was already whooped. He was already defeated. But the fact remains is that I tried to highlight it on Alex Ariza, the guy who was actually trying to do something, or allegedly trying to do something to bring something extra out of his fighter. He's a strength coach. He shouldn't even be in the corner any goddamn way. You're supposed to have a chief second, a cut man, and an assistant second. I guess that's what he was supposed to be. But there's a conflict of interest there because of his occupation. He knows about performance-enhancing drugs. And he knows about the drug testing protocol of these commissions state by state. That's their job. They're supposed to know about this stuff. And based on that, he shouldn't be in the goddamn corner anyway. But I digress in that situation. My whole thing is this. There was no way that you can look at my videos and say that Ashley Knuckles is trying to make excuses for Adrian Broner. No way. If you would listen to every word of my video, there's no way you can make the connection as it pertains to me. And this video right here is to clear my name because nobody's saying no names. But I know I had a part to play in that because I did raise the issue, and I'm gonna continue to raise the issue when it comes to cheating. I've always stand on the side of fair play in boxing, and I'm gonna continue to do that. Because these guys put their lives on the line. You know what I'm saying? Alright, enough of that shit. Now, let's go on the issue because this ain't just for Divine Sense or Zone 6 who I fuck with. Or, I'm going to bring Calix into this too because I heard on his video and a lot of other guys saying that Adrian Broner, people saying Adrian Broner is a slick fighter and he ain't slick. And he has never been slick. That's a lie. If you go back, you can check my video log and check anybody's on the YouTube boxing community. And I'm not taking shots at nobody. Like I say, I'm doing it as it pertains to Ashley Knuckles. Because I don't want nobody to see these videos and then try to make a connection to me without me clearing myself. No, I'm going to clear me because nobody's saying no names. And I'm included because I did say Adrian Broner can box on the move. And the reason why I said that is because I watched this nigga as he come up through the professional ranks. Before any of you cats seen Adrian Broner on your television, I was watching him on undercards at the prize fights, covering the fights live. I was there. I got proof, I got pictures, I got history when it comes to Adrian Broner. Before he was even on your HBOs, I was at the fights where he was fighting. And when I say the boy can box on the move and use the ring, he can because he did it. If you look at anybody's video log and find out the very first person to bring up Adrian Broner, I dare you to find one that goes back further than mine. Because I was the first guy to even mention Adrian Broner in the YouTube boxing community. Yeah, check the record. I can go back further than that, but because before I even mentioned him on the YouTube boxing community, I mentioned him on Rope-A-Dope Radio. He was my prospect of the year a year before he even fought Ponce de Leon. Check the record. Do your research. It's a reason. Now go back and check that video and align it to any video that I've done currently, and you will see that the message is still the same. He can box on the move, but now he stands right in front of his opponent. And the reason why I said it is because if you only seen Adrian Broner fight up into from a certain point, like from Ponce de Leon and Litzau to current, then obviously you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about when he was just a prospect, when nobody was paying attention. No, excuse me. Nobody was paying attention. And people only paid attention to one fight when he was a prospect, and that's a fight where he arguably lost when he was on ESPN. That's just one fight. That's just one fight. The guy used to box. He used to get on his toes, evade a big punch, and catch a dude with a hook coming in. That shit is factual. YouTube it. I'm sure it's got to be some fights on YouTube that are parallel with what I'm saying. He did used to box on the move, and he was a slick black fighter. But as time went by, he settled into his style, which is to stand flat-footed, right in front of you, use Mayweather's defense, because he didn't always use that. As a pro, he was not always using the shoulder roll. Do your research. One thing that has been consistent about Adrian Broner as a pro is him brushing his hair in the corner. He always did that shit. Even when there was no TV, he was doing that shit. Okay? But for those that say he's always been flat-footed, that is not accurate. I'm going to go back, and this ain't even about Adrian Broner right now. I'm going to go back to when I've heard people say that Winky Wright has always been flat-footed. That is not accurate either. Do your homework. If you only seen Winky Wright fight from Shane Mosley until he stopped fighting, until he fought Bernard Hopkins and everybody else later in his career, you obviously don't know what you talking about. There is a limit of the amount of fights that you've seen of Winky Wright. If you only seen Winky Wright from Fernando Vargas on and on until when he fought Shane Mosley, Jermaine Taylor, and Bernard Hopkins, you obviously don't know what you talking about. Because before Winky Wright was on American television, he was fighting in the UK. And when he was in the UK, he was not using that peekaboo defense. He was not flat-footed and walking guys down. He used to box on the move like a Sugar Ray Leonard. Do your damn research. Check the shit out for yourself. Obviously, you have not been around long enough where you can confirm what people are saying in that regard. I've been here. Before I even opened up a YouTube account, I was still involved in boxing. So I'm not just rambling shit out of my asshole. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the content of my videos and you can tell if you got any goddamn sense as pertaining to boxing. You can tell I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So if anybody out there, I'm not singling nobody out. I don't want anybody to think I'm singling them out. But if this video pertains to you, then damn yo, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? If what I'm saying about Winky Wright, you said it yourself that he ain't never done it. He ain't never boxed on the move. I'm talking to you. Because yes, he did. When he used to fight in the UK, I'm talking about before he even won that WBO title, when he wouldn't get no credit. I'm talking about when Sweet Pea was still fighting, when Oscar De La Hoya was still fighting, when Tito was still fighting, Vernon Forrest and all those guys, Cool Vince Phillips, when it was their time. You know what I'm saying? Sharmba Mitchell, when all those guys were still fighting. You know what I'm saying? Oba Carr. If you don't know who these names are, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So obviously you have no reason to even intervene when somebody is talking about Winky Wright at that time. If you wasn't around, do your damn research. Okay? Winky Wright used to box on the move. If you don't believe it, get on Twitter. Find him on Twitter. I'm sure he's there. Ask him. Ask him how did he used to fight. A lot of guys probably don't even believe Andre Ward used to try to fight like Roy Jones before he starts settling into his style. But I'm sure you got people that be like, oh, he never tried to fight like Roy Jones. He always fought it the same way. That is not true. Do your research before you go flapping your mouth on the video like you know everything. You don't. You do not. Andre Ward used to try to fight like Roy Jones with his hands down, head movement, boxing on the move. That was Andre Ward. That's the way he used to fight before he settled into his style. Winky Wright used to box on the move way before you seen him on HBO. You ain't been around that long to speak on it. Yes, he did. I'm willing to put it up against you. If you got offense to what I'm saying right now, step to the table. And I will verify. Everything that I say can be verified. Adrian Broner used to box on the move. Do your research. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I was there. I was at the events covering it. I was there. I've seen it. I've seen him when he was stamping guys out in round one. Hollering out every time he threw a punch. Ha! 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 I was there. I'm not not speaking about something I don't know. I don't never speak about something I don't know about. So if anybody is putting videos out there because they heard an Ashy Knuckles video, put my name on it, and then let's go ahead and go and debate it. I'm willing to put mine up against anybody. I got respect for a lot of guys out there, and I usually don't come at guys saying, you know, I'll debate with you and stuff, because that's never been my premise. You know what I'm saying? I respect everybody. But if people want to debate me in particularly, I'm ready. Been ready. We can go back as far as you want. We can talk about anything you want. Let's do it. But the bottom line is, I just felt compelled to make this video as it pertains to me, clearing my name on anything I said, because anything I said can be verified. Anything. Especially as it pertains to Adrian Broner, because I was the first one to even mention this dude on YouTube. The first one. I was the first one to even mention him on podcasts, and that's across the board. Go back and check the Rope-A-Dope Radio archives. He was my prospect of the year long before he was even on HBO, because I've seen him. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him fight. Alright. Like I said before, this ain't going out, and this ain't no attack on anybody. Oh, let me talk about the racism stuff. I'm sure that, you know what I'm saying, if guys are out there analyzing fights based on race, I'm sure they're out there. And I know them for a fact that they're out there, because it's YouTube. It's a whole variety of people that do that same shit. Whole variety of races that do that same shit. And if this is about you, if you fall in this category, you ain't no boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? I've said it before. Boxing is not about race. Boxing is worldwide. There's a whole bunch of races out there. Whole bunch of them that equally put their lives on the line, blood, sweat, and tears, and can equally die in the ring, just like a lot of guys. Or like Oscar Diaz, get his ass beat and fall into a coma. Or like Lavander Johnson, get his ass beat and die. Everybody is susceptible to the same thing, because they're all men in the ring getting punched in the head, in the body. They have to sustain that. Benny Paret, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Sustain punishment, die in the ring because of what happened in the ring. Or Gerald McClellan, even though he's not dead, look at the quality of his life. So you should not be analyzing this sport based on race. Based on that respect alone about what the possibilities that can happen, that a guy can be terminally hurt, should make you respect the sport in terms of not looking at it from a biased eye when we're talking about ethnicity. Period. You know what I'm saying? And I know you guys are out there. I know you do that. If this pertains to you, you need to cut that out straight up. And you know what? I'm not calling nobody out. If this pertains to you, you need to cut that shit out, okay? Because you need to have a respect for everybody who enters into the square circle to entertain you, to fight their heart out and put their lives on the line in order to make some out of themselves, make some money, take care of their family, set a legacy. You need to have a respect for that across the board. Not saying you can't have your favorites. Everybody comes into the game with a favorite. I came into the game loving Tommy Hearns. That was my favorite. That was my favorite fighter. Still is. You know, and if that is you, if you just now coming into the game with a favorite fighter, you're not gonna analyze it like everybody else is analyzing it. When I first started watching boxing with Tommy Hearns, I wasn't analyzing the fight. Tommy Hearns was my hero. I didn't know nothing about breaking down the science of the sport. And in that regard, most people who came in with a favorite fighter fit that same category. That's why everybody of today's game will never match up to the fighters of yesterday, because those were our heroes. So it's going to be hard to match the feats of our heroes, because when we watched them, we weren't watching with the same intent as we do now. So y'all shouldn't get mad when guys say Adrian Broner ain't this, or he's not an all-time, or Floyd's not an all-time great. You shouldn't get mad, because truthfully, you do not analyze a guy's career in that regard until they're done fighting. Period. You know what I'm saying? But if you just now coming into the game with a favorite fighter, you shouldn't even be breaking down fights at all. You should be listening, learning, doing your research, and getting an understanding of the sport that you're watching. And if your only understanding is based on the color of the fighters that have dominated the sport throughout history, then you got a whole lot to learn. Because before blacks was dominating the game, whites were dominating the game. There was a time when we wasn't even doing it. You know what I'm saying? As much as they were doing it. You know what I'm saying? There was a period when Mexicans took over the sport of boxing, dominating. Puerto Ricans. You name the ethnicity, they had their time in the sport. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just us. I'm only speaking to African Americans because that's what I am. You know what I'm saying? You need to have a respect for everybody who comes into this game. Point blank, period. Cut that shit out. If this is you, your listening capabilities, you need to enhance those before you put out your talking capabilities, trying to talk like you actually know the sport when you really don't. There's so much of this sport that needs to be learned before you think you can analyze it like everybody else. And I just wanted to put this out because I've been reading comments, getting inboxed, but those, has been just racist and stuff like that, and people saying I'm making excuses for Broner. Never made no excuse for him. Listen to the damn video. Don't just see the title of it and all of a sudden jump to conclusions and start writing stuff in my comment section. Because that ain't gonna do them to piss me off. If you ain't gonna listen to it, don't comment. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no way you can listen to my videos and think that I'm making an excuse for anybody. I don't make no excuse for no fighter. The ring sorts out the facts. Whatever happened in that ring when these guys began to fight from 1 to 12 or 1 to whenever it happens, whatever happened in that ring is the reason why your favorite fighter got his ass whooped. And as it pertains to Maidana Broner, the only reason why Broner got his lost that fight is because Maidana was on his ass. No other reason. But if there was some signs of foul play, it don't have nothing to do with Chino. When Chino goes to the corner, it's not like he wiping his own face. It's not like he giving himself water or putting an inswell on his own wounds. It's not like he's telling himself instructions for the next round. Chino has all these guys in his corner to do a specific task. He's just there to fight because that's all fighters know to do. That's all they know how to do is train and fight. So if there was foul play and is being currently investigated, credit to them for that. Why not investigate it? If there's nothing to be proved, then it won't. If there's nothing foul there, then it's gonna come out like that. But if there is, there's no reason why you shouldn't investigate. There has been cheating in this sport. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it should not reflect what whether Ariza did anything or not. It should not affect Chino and what he did, because he did nothing but whoop Adrian Broner's ass. It should be all about Ariza's ass. He was the one that do that. Chino didn't say, give it to me, put it under my nose, give me the pill. He has a fucking mouthpiece in his mouth. He wasn't really saying shit. But what made it look so suspect is that Chino was moving his hand out the way. And that is usually the signs of somebody putting something up underneath your nose. And underneath your nose to wake you up, like smelling salt. That is the normal human reaction. Because that stuff is not supposed to be in your nostrils. It makes you alert instantly. That's your human reflex to move somebody's hand out the way once you come to. That's what made it look so suspect. That's what raised the issue. It had nothing to do with Broner. Get that out your mind. You're the one that's emotionally invested. If that's your normal reaction to people raising an issue, then you're the one emotionally invested. If you have nothing to bring to the sport in terms of to catch cheating when it happens, stay the hell off my goddamn page. You and me are not on the same goddamn level. Point blank, period. Check my history if you think there's some goddamn biasness going on for fighters. And on that, I'm out. Like I said before, this ain't got nothing. This ain't no shot at anybody on the YouTube community directly. I'm making this video because I've heard a series of videos and I've read a bunch of comments. And the comments were directed to me, but these videos were open. But since I had a part to play in what was said in those videos, I'm clearing my name if anybody wants to attach that shit to me. So, as it is, ashy knuckles with a deuce.